Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. I am your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and it is Monday all over again. And I hope that you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I know that I did. They just go by too fast. I don't know about you, but for me, it's like they fly by. I don't know if it's because I'm trying to cram so much into 2 days, and Monday's here again, or what it is. But anyway, I'm still trying to work on the work 2 days off 5 plan, but no one seems to be picking it up yet. So, who knows? I'll keep trying. But anyway, we are glad it's Monday because our guest tonight, I'm so excited to speak with her. She is a phenomenal artist. She is really doing some great things in the world of indie music and has released songs that I just absolutely love because it's based off of one of her favorite movies, which I enjoyed the story. I have yet to see the motion picture of it, but I am going to. It's on my bucket list. I'm just too busy. I need to take more downtime to watch more television, more movies. But in any event, she is phenomenal. She's a rocker, and she is. I think there's just so much about her that you're going to enjoy, and so we would love to welcome Sheila Swift. Hello.
Hi, guys. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm so good, and I'm so happy it's Monday, too. I mean, come on. Let's just get happy about this week, right?
That's right. Well, it's funny because before we went live, you and I were talking about this weather in the great state of North Carolina that we had this time of year. And ironically, I didn't get to tell you because we were winding down to the kickoff here of the show, but today the weather, it has been the weirdest summer. We have had unseasonably, low 80s, low humidity, which is almost the end of July into August. It is like scorching hot normally this time of year, so I don't understand.
So it's basically like the end of the world is what you're telling me.
Yeah. I'm like, I keep looking out, going, hey, wait a minute, is there something weird about
I know, in Texas,
this is not.
Here in Houston, we're the same way. If it gets below 76, we have our parkas out. We're like, oh my God, hell froze over. What did I do wrong?
Exactly, like I didn't get beamed up. What's going on? It's like, I know. So the weather this summer has been weird. Normally we're in a serious drought. We had about 3 weeks of nonstop rain. We had flooding. It was horrible. Everybody hated it. And now, everything's kind of leveled off, and now we're almost in August, which overall it's not been a bad summer weather-wise, but it's just been weird. I mean, it's not.
Well, now you have
Texas.
a gift of a good summer. Yeah, I'm in Texas.
I know, really. I know, so your weather is so reminiscent of here, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
But at least you guys have seasons.
That's true. Well, we do, but we don't. We have about a week of spring and a week to 10 days of fall, and then we go straight into summer or winter. Now, I don't know what's going to happen this year because the weather's been so wacky, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But in any event, I just want to welcome you to our show. I've been looking forward to speaking with you for some time now because I've listened to your music, and I've been following you, and you're just an amazing artist, and so it is quite an honor to have you here with us.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice.
Well, I guess the best for the listening audience who may not know who Sheila Swift is, let's just kind of start with the basics and talk a little bit about how you got into music.
Well, I think, Dawn, if you ask my mom, I came out singing Hallelujah instead of crying, it pretty much happened at the inception. And, I started out singing in church choirs and started professionally singing when I was 13 around the country doing the Christian music circuit, and started writing when I was 16, thanks to my mentor at the time, John Mays. And really, everything just kind of blossomed out of that. But since I was 5 years old, I've just always known that this is my passion, and now it's become my vocation and always my calling, but I'm really grabbing hold of it now.
Well, I'm so glad that you are because it definitely suits you. I think if you were doing anything else, you would be, you would realize really quick that it was not what you were supposed to be doing. Well, I wasn't going to say that, but only you could decide that. But yeah,
passion. Yeah.
Isn't that so true? I mean, I think we all struggle with that, and we know when we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing. So
it's true, and it's hard to get caught up in that. Yeah. I mean, I'm also a mom. I've got twin girls, Marley and Dylan. They're almost 5 years old, which is crazy. But yeah, it's hard because, you know, for every time that I've kind of stepped away from music, there's just been an aching in my heart. And I've never not done it. I just, you know, we were talking about the weather. There's different seasons. And I'm just so happy that I'm finally kind of in the, I'm sowing lots of seeds right now while I'm also harvesting. It's really, really a pretty cool time in my life.
Yes, for sure. Now, your girls are almost 5. Are they going to be going off to kindergarten this fall?
Yes, my babies are growing up and leaving me.
Well, see, that's the thing. When you have twins, you can't stagger, you know, the start of school. And, you know, which I've heard, you know, for parents of twins, it's one of those things where, you know, everything happens at once. So in some ways it's really good, but in other ways, like when they're starting school, they're starting together. So therefore, at home, you have no babies at home anymore. They're both in school at that point, you know.
But it's okay. You know, I don't know any different, so it's, you know, it's all good. But it's actually interesting, Dawn, because golly, talk about doing it all. I'm trying. I'm actually starting my MFA, my Master's of Fine Arts, this fall also, while doing a record, while touring. But the funniest thing was, it was more of a pain in the butt to register my girls for kindergarten than it was for me to get into grad school. So go figure. So apparently you need to learn where they're going to go to school before they even know you want to have kids.
Well, you know, I just can feel you on that because I not only work full-time. I mean, this, unfortunately, is not my day job. We're trying to get there, you know. But I have a full-time job. I'm a mom of 3, 2 of which are out of high school, and I'm a grandmother. I have a daughter who will be in 10th grade this fall, and I'm also in school full-time. I'm taking classes online. I'm about to enter my senior year of college. Yes, we are kindred spirits, and then I run 3 radio shows. So, you know, and I stay incredibly busy, but, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way because the radio show aspect is not like work. So, and the school aspect is yeah, I'm telling you, living out those passions is so important. I mean, I could do a whole show and take calls for days from people saying, this is what I really want to do when I grow up kind of thing. But your music, I mean, I really have to ask you, how did you gravitate towards your musical style? Because when I first heard your music, I mean, it was like, you know, it was kind of poppy, it was kind of rocky, it was kind of country. I mean, there was no real set genre for you, which I thought was really cool because, you know, that means you can do a lot with your music. So how did you kind of settle on the style in your current single?
Well, like you just said, like, I don't have a style. I just have all styles. No, but the way it works for me, Dawn, is I'm just truly an artist. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a vessel, and I feel like, you know, for me personally, just because of my relationship with God, it's like, you know, I literally am the vessel. And so there's no walls, there's no box. And that's the struggle, too, just being in this industry is people want to be able to check off, oh, you sound like this person, or you're rock, or you're pop, you're country. Well, rock at the end of the day is all-encompassing. Just like pop, really the roots of it is popular music. So, you know, like how did I come up with my style? I just decided to be open and not edit myself. And so therefore, just whatever comes out, because I have so many influences and loves. And I'm eclectic anyway. It's going to come out however it's going to come out, and I just let it happen.
Well, and I really appreciate you, you know, saying what you did about, you know, obviously you very much are rooted in your faith, and in this industry, you know, that can be so difficult at times. How has that helped you, and how has it hindered you? Or I hope it hasn't hindered you.
Yeah,
but,
I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I'm trying to say? Because there's so many stereotypes, and yet, you know, to be an artist, a genuine artist, I guess is the best way to describe it, is, you know, it can be very challenging trying to work your way through some of the really cutthroat parts of this industry.
And that is absolutely the case, and especially, and I'll add another, you know, kind of situation, just being a woman. It's, you know, immediately people may not credit you for what you do as an artist and take you seriously. And, I mean, there's been lots of times where I've missed out. Although I didn't miss out. I mean, I've had to turn down gigs because, you know, the promoter wanted something out of me as a woman, and I'm not cool with that. And it sucks. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, going back to how my faith has helped, and it's just the fact, like I said, that I know that this is the card that God dealt me. I don't do math, so I can't do anything else other than music and art. but I'm just trying to really, like I said, I just believe that, if we live our life out loud, but in the job to just everything I do, I don't always do it right, but I try to glorify God, and I try to just really, especially now that I have kids, just teach them that you have to always believe in yourself and believe in your dreams. And why do I have these dreams? It's because God put them on my heart. So even that can be a hindrance, too, because there's days where I feel like, God, why did you put this desire in me? And now nothing's manifesting. Well, it's either because you feel like you're not doing the work, or it's just not the right time. Because I'm an impatient person, like a lot of us are. And, but also just in the industry, people hear, you go to church, well, then blah, 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 or whatever. But I don't want any of that to stop me, because it doesn't matter. I'm going to be me regardless.
And everything you just said, and everything you just said, I can totally identify with, because if you're doing something that you're passionate about and you know that it comes from God to start with, and you have to believe not only in yourself, but you believe, well, if He's given you the passion for something, then He's going to make it manifest. And like you say, in His time, it's exactly. And I'm impatient too. It's like, come on, I'm a planner by nature as well. So yeah. So in that respect, I mean, have you ever thought about? Because I know you said earlier in the interview that when you were younger, you sang contemporary Christian music. Is that that genre? Speaking of genres for a moment, has really just exploded with lots of contemporary Christian artists that are doing so phenomenally well, and have fans by the hordes. I mean, is that something that you think you might gravitate towards at some point?
Like I said, I don't put any limitations on myself, because I'm not trying to be anything other than myself. And like I said, I don't know. It's really truly whatever God has for me. And I mean, I got away from Christian music because I felt like for so long I was preaching to the choir. And for me, I felt like, okay, God was, He was calling me out to a different field, a different mission field, or whatever however you want to put it. But I always feel like, we're to be salt and light. And I have some amazing friends like Jason Gray, who's an amazing Christian artist. Another friend of mine, Billy Dorsey, who just released an album called Marathon. I have just so much respect for these guys, because they're doing it in that capacity, and they also understand that it's not one-sided. And Christian music and secular music, I hate those terms, because what I do, Dawn, is like what I do. If you're a Christian or a believer or a spiritual person or somebody that's just positive and happy, you're going to listen to my music and you're going to understand those undertones. If you're not a believer, you're going to say, hey, wait a minute, there's something different, because there's some optimism and hope. And that's really the message of my music. It's just that there's hope. As long as we're alive, there's hope,
That's exactly right. And I love your perspective, because that is so true. I mean, you can be used in an arena and an area where, you're not necessarily preaching to the choir, if you will. And it may speak volumes to someone, and and that's really at the end of the day what it's all about, I think. And it's not about that you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome. And talk a little bit about your music, because you've written some really great stuff. And where do you draw from to write your music? Where does your inspiration come from?
Well, we were talking, you mentioned Daisy and Valley Buchanan in the beginning, and actually I wrote it because of the book, because I was, in my undergrad, I was an English and art major. I've always loved literature, and that is one of the biggest places of inspiration for me is other art. So literature, and then, paintings, really getting into the history of art and architecture, just things that inspire me are, things that rise out of the metaphors. So something beautiful, then I can take and create a concept or story, kind of like Emily Dickinson did. Like, she didn't spell it out for you, but it's there for you to kind of project on poetry. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about my writing. I'm not necessarily a classic storyteller, but I'm going to give you I'm going to give you an arena to play out your own situation, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it means one thing to me, but just like a piece of abstract art, I'm not trying to tell anybody this is what this is. I want you to discover it and love it for however it approaches you.
Yeah, I think that's great because, you know, I say so often on this program and to many of my colleagues, that is, you know, music is such a universal language. And so,
yes.
you know, as each person hears the song, it's, you know, it's no big surprise that people are going to interpret music differently. Even though they're hearing the same song, what it means to them is going to mean something different from the next person. And I think that's what's so great about music is because, you know, it really does speak to the soul. And it can speak to you because of a situation you're going through, or it can speak to you for any number of reasons. And everyone looks at it differently, and they have different reasons why they like certain songs. And
I'll tell you what, Dawn, it's interesting. Yeah, you're right. And it's like, you know, there's a song I wrote on my first album, Shape of Things, called Avalanche. And I wrote that song while my uncle and my aunt were going through a divorce, or at a time where we didn't know what was really going on, you know, whether they would stay together or whether they would not. So that was the inspiration behind Avalanche. And I'll tell you what, that song that I wrote for somebody else has become one of the most important songs for myself. Personally, especially when I was, you know, kind of going through the same thing. I unfortunately, but it's okay, I went through a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's just so crazy how my own song really inspired me and gave me strength. But that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't because of me. It's because God gave me those words, gave me those lyrics. And I know that sounds so preachy, but you know what? I'm not ashamed to say it because that's the truth.
Mm-hmm. And the truth is, God knew who needed those words, you know, whether it be your aunt, you know, your aunt and uncle, or someone out there you've never met, may never meet, that hears your song. And, you know, little did you know that at some point in time, those words would come to mean something to you. And so I think we are definitely vehicles through which he speaks. And oftentimes, you know, I love to write. And so sometimes when I write, I look back at what I wrote and I go, oh, I wrote that. You know, I'm kind of amazed with myself. Like, really? You know, and then I have to remember where the words come from. You know, so songwriting, I imagine, is for you, it's probably in that same vein, and that the words are just coming through you and flowing, you know, and so
and it's
you know,
different every time because
purpose.
sometimes sometimes you have those moments of just like sheer, just like a song will come just flow out perfectly, but those are the very rare moments, and this is why I have, Dawn, a love-hate relationship with songwriting. Because when I'm done with something, I'm so happy. It's almost, you know, like a painful labor, right? But really, a lot of times too, I have a concept or idea, and for me, everything rises out of a metaphor. You know, like the song I was talking about, Avalanche. It's, you know, about an avalanche, a landslide, and it's not about divorce, but it's about just, hey, how is our world falling on top of us? Like, how did this happen? How did we get so far to the point where we didn't even see that there was a big disaster on its way? You know, so I try to just come up with things like that. But there's so many different ways I approach it. Just like my music is all over the place, so is my process. For me.
Well, look, everybody has their own process. I mean, I talk to lots of indie artists, and they all have different stories that they tell about how they go about writing, and you know, and what works for them and what doesn't. It's always interesting because, you know, it's going to be something different. And you know, and I think it really does. It really does boil down to what works for you. You know,
right? And that moment. And you know, it's funny, Daisy. I never intended to release it, Dawn. I never intended for Daisy to become a song. It's just I read The Great Gatsby probably for the 30th time over Christmas, and as an adult, I'm reading it going, oh my gosh, like this is a different book than what I remember, and it's awesome. And so I just literally, because I have my girls in the house with me, you know, we're always making up silly songs, and every time we play or teachable moments, I kind of turn into a song, and I just started humming Daisy, Daisy, you know, and it just became this thing. It just became something that I'd never intended. And so when it came out, I'm like, this has no correlation to what my EP is going to be, my more rock sensibility, because I'm a rocker at heart, girl. But but you know, with my kids, it's like there's this kind of almost lullaby. It became a little motif. So my guitar player, Ben Jared, who is amazing, I played it for him. I thought, Ben, you're going to laugh at this song. And he said, Sheila, that's gold. Like, we have to record it. I'm like, what do you mean? It's a minute and a half. There's no chorus. There's no true structure. But that was the moment where I feel like God blessed me with that song to say, you know what? It's time to get out of the box. Just go for it. Just don't even worry. Just do your thing. So it's been really great.
Well, and for the record, that song, it's like when you listen to it once, you listen to it again because you just want to, and it gets stuck in your head, and you're walking around, I found myself singing Daisy, Daisy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, so it does stick, and I like the fact that it's whimsical, and, you know, it's got that nostalgic edge about it because, you know, knowing the backstory that it's based, you know, the inspiration comes from The Great Gatsby, and then, you know, to know that you have twin daughters who I'm sure just absolutely love hearing their mommy sing it. So,
and you know what, Dawn? They just got in the studio. I took them over last week, and Marley and Dylan just sang it in the studio. So I think it's going to be the secret track on my record. Marley and Dylan both have their own version of Daisy.
Oh, my gosh, that will be awesome.
It's
sure
like
thing, you know.
Thing ever. And they're way better than I am. I just got to put that out there, so you know.
Well, you know, they're able to get to be involved in what that you are doing as an artist, you know, and it might pique their interest. You never know. Down the road, they may come to you and go, Mom,
you never know.
You know,
but they're so
I want to cut a record.
Yeah, who knows?
So,
whatever they want to do, I just support them forever, just like my parents did for me, because I was just such a lucky girl to be given the best parents in the world. So that's also why I'm able to thrive and do music and art and, you know, everything, because I had parents that really had an example of showing me that all things are possible. But why? Because Christ.
That's right. That's right. You are so right. And, well, your latest EP is about to be released, around August 13th? And
August 13th,
it's called
the day after my girl's 35. Yeah.
It won't be long now. Just a few, and 2 days before my son heads off to college. So that's going to be a very. You and I may have to correspond via social media that week and go. Are you holding up okay?
Yeah. When you know what the title of the EP is called "The Striving Is Over," which is actually such an amazing thing. Like, you know, especially during this time of transition. And so for me, it's actually just a 3-song EP. I'm almost feel like it's a little novella to really give light into the past couple years of my life in between releasing my last record. Like I said, during that time, I've moved around. I was married, had babies, got divorced. It was a really hard time in my life, and also wondering, like, God, you know, music is the thing I love. Will I ever find my way back to it? And this just is a really special kind of time for me to say, you know what, stop trying so hard to make everything work and just let go and let it happen. And so that's what this record is for, and it's a personal triumph for me, really. I'm excited.
Well, I cannot wait to hear it, and when it is officially ready, please make sure your agent send us a copy so we can start promoting it here on our show.
Absolutely.
And playing it on our Saturday night show because we'd love to get it out there. You're one of those artists that definitely needs to be heard. I mean, and that's the purpose of our show is to promote artists that need to be heard because you're just too talented not to be. So,
thank you
definitely
so much.
anything
That's
we
awesome.
can do. Well, anything we can do. Oh, yeah, we're happy to. I mean, anything we can do to help promote your music and you just let us know. We're happy to do that. So, I'm so excited. I love the song Daisy, and just like I said, knowing the backstory to the song just makes it all the more sweeter. It's really a neat tune, and I'm so glad
to
then
make sure you go
it.
check out Ballad of Buchanan because that's kind of the B song. So Daisy is my plea to her to kind of get herself together and stop playing like a little girl, and then the Ballad of Buchanan is almost as if it's Daisy's response, and it starts out with you're talking about nostalgia. It starts out with like a little Andrews Sisters kind of idea with the South Pacific line of "Gonna wash that man right out of my hair." So go check that one out too.
I definitely will. And I just want to let you know, I was just now I saw something go through my feed, and someone by the name of Julian Colbrand. Do you know them?
Julian.
Yes. They said, can't wait to hear the girls' secret track. You're doing great on Jammin' Jukebox.
Oh, hi.
I didn't know if you I didn't know if you saw that flying by, but it just caught my eye, so I was like, because I was tagged in it, so I was like, I got to share that with you. That is so cool.
Oh, thank you.
You have a great support base. I mean, obviously, and lots of fans who love what you do and have been following you for quite some time, and I know that you are definitely, you're smart, you're brilliant, you're a phenomenal, singer-songwriter and artist, and I know you're going to have a great career ahead of you. Your girls, I know they're already proud of you, but they've got so much to look forward to with their mommy going forward with your dream and pursuing your passion. I'm sorry?
Oh, Dylan's right here, and she said she's waving hello.
Oh, well, hello, Dylan. Hello. Well, Sheila, it has been such a fun, I can't believe our time is up, but it has been so fun talking to you. And I could chat with you for hours. You are my kind of people.
You're
yes,
awesome,
we will.
Thank you. Okay, well, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Well, give your girls a hug for us, and we would definitely love to have you back anytime to talk about your music and anything new you may have coming out.
All right, girl. Talk to y'all soon. And everyone, I'm glad you had a good Monday, and let's have an even better Tuesday.
That's right. Well, great. Okay. Take care, Sheila.
Good night. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. She's so much fun. Sheila Swift. And if you enjoyed the interview, you can follow her on Twitter at Sheila, and that's SHEILA Swift, and SWIFT. And by the way, she is no relation to Taylor. But just a wonderful sweetheart of a person. Really enjoyed speaking with her. And, you can follow her most places, but she also has a Facebook page. You can also go to her website and check her out there, and it's just chock full of information about everything that's going on with her right now, and that's SheilaSwift.com, and also look her up on Facebook at Sheila Swift. So, again, we want to say a huge thank you to her for being our special guest this evening. She is such a phenomenal person inside and out, and makes some really great music. And before we wrap tonight, I want to play the song Daisy that she was speaking about that she almost didn't release, that is going to be the secret track on the new EP that's coming out. Yay! And so you'll love the song. If you've ever read The Great Gatsby, you will immediately identify and recognize that it's being inspired by that. And so I certainly did, and I absolutely love the song. And I'm just going to warn you, the song will get stuck in your head. So just go ahead and prepare for that, because the rest of the night you'll be walking around singing Daisy, Daisy, but because I did. So anyway, without further ado, here is Sheila Swift and Daisy.
Daisy, Daisy, come on, pretty lady. What's the matter with you? 'Cause lately, baby, you've been acting crazy. Don't know what to do. Can you feel him in your heart, in your wake? Does he break? Can you hear him when he calls with a roar of a pure heartache? Oh, the miserable pain. Everyone here is sure to blame, but you're not owning up. Your body gives
Affability by Sheila Swift. Love that song. It's a neat little tune. See what I mean? I mean, I'm going to be singing this the rest of the night. I know I am. Every time I hear it, it gets stuck in my head, and I bet it will yours too. What a neat little tune. And again, the new album, or the new EP, drops on August 13th in the U.S. It's entitled The Striving Is Over. Be sure and pick it up, and you can go to her website and pretty much get that anywhere. So look forward to getting that. Can't wait to hear it. And so, again, we want to say a huge thank you to our special guest, Sheila Swift, for being with us this evening, and also a huge thanks to all of you for tuning in. And if you're brand new to our program, welcome aboard. We're always glad to have new listeners joining us, and we hope that this won't be your last time here. You're welcome back anytime. A couple of notes before we wrap. Coming on Thursday night, we have a pop rock band called Linus the Moon. They will be joining us at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, so hope that you will be here for that. And also we're going to do a little cross-promotion tonight. We've got a couple big guests coming on one of our other shows this week, our show Behind the Mic Radio, which is a celebrity interview show that we do quite a bit as well, in addition to our Jammin Jukebox show. We've got some guests scheduled this week. Tonight at 8 p.m., we have Channing Chase from Mad Men, and if you're a Mad Men fan, you'll want to join us, and you can just go to blogtalkradio.com here and just type in the search bar Behind the Mic Radio, and you'll be able to find our show, and then, or you can just follow that show Twitter on for Behind the Mic Radio, and to keep up with who our guests are and when they're coming and so forth. And that's BT Mic Radio if you'd like to follow us. But we want to say a huge thank you again to everyone, and especially to Sheila Swift for being our special guest. And as always, we appreciate you being here. So with that, we're going to wrap and wish you a great Monday evening, and we'll see you right back here again with Linus the Moon on Thursday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Take care, all, and good night.
Hey, you. Yeah, you, the one listening to this. Go to Stitcher.com and download the free app. It's a free app that lets you listen to our show 24/7, 365, anytime you'd like. You don't ever have to miss another episode again. And you can listen to thousands more shows and stations just like ours. So go now. Download it to your mobile devices, your Androids, your iPhones, your iPads, whatever you got. It's Stitcher.com, and it's free. Thanks for listening to tonight's show. You can connect with Jammin Jukebox Radio Show on Twitter at Jammin Jukebox or on Facebook at Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. Check out our website at thejamminjukebox.com. Also, follow us on Blog Talk, where you will be always up to date on every episode as we add it. Each episode is available for immediate download upon the conclusion of each broadcast, and as always, on iTunes. Thank you for joining us.